Federal government seeks Niger Delta stakeholders' support for region's economy. The federal government has called for the support of key stakeholders in the Niger Delta region on infrastructure and security for improved economy and development of the country. The Minister of Environment, Mohammed Abdullahi, made a call yesterday during a two-day Niger Delta Infrastructures Security Summit organized by the Nigeria Infrastructures and Business Asset Security Group, held in Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital. Speaking on the theme, Infrastructure Security, Responsibility in Collective National Interest, Abdullahi said that the theme for the summit is apt at this period when the federal government is trying to focus on resources, regularization of power, oil and gas, transportation, telecommunications, and other infrastructures for the collective national interest. Represented by Executive Officer at Federal Ministry of Environment, Alhaji Mohammed Ali Abdullahi said Nigeria, as major oil producing nation, has made huge investments in critical infrastructure in oil and gas industry ranging from exploration to transport, pipelines, among others. Abdullahi said that the industry has seemingly been challenged by air and water pollution, also limitation of land contamination, as well as climate vegetation by oil and gas, third-party interference, loss of livelihood, and diseases impacted on oil communities. He commended the organizers of the summit for bringing together the key stakeholders within and outside the region whose mass experience will prefer solutions to the challenges of the infrastructure's security in the country. Nigeria budgeted over 270 million barrels of national commercial crude oil investment was lost in sabotage between 2015 and 2020, and also an estimated revenue loss of $14.6 billion due to illegal oil operations. In 2021, 193 million barrels of crude oil was allegedly recorded in 11 months due to crude oil theft, which translated to an estimated 3.5 million US dollar of revenue, about 10% of the country's oil reserves, and also about 3 million liters spilled, over 370 cases within the first 3 years to illegal oil extraction and artisanal refining. According to him, it is sacrosanct for critical oil and gas infrastructure operators or partners and host communities to adopt duly care and best practices in order to guarantee a lasting solutions to environmental devastation, collective economic losses, safety and security, loss of lives, and social infrastructure. He solicited for the support of all stakeholders, including the oil and gas sector, the host communities, and the civil society organizations in finding a lasting solution to the dilapidation of critical infrastructures. Abdullahi further urged stakeholders in the security sector and host communities to protect and safeguard their environment to stop oil vandalization and achieve the intended goals in economic growth. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Obong Umana, represented by Dr. Cynthia Igrundu, the technical advisor to the minister, said that the theme of the summit would not have been more appropriate if one cannot think of peace and development in the region, and also ensuring that very structure for sustainable economic growth and the development in the region for the collective benefit be safeguarded, protected from the risk, abuse, and misuse, sabotage, and destruction. According to him, the Niger Delta region constitutes 21.4% of the Nigerian's population based on 2006 census, stressing that infrastructure security is an individual responsibility that we all embrace collectively for regional and national development. The Minister for Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Patami, said that the summit will be a wake-up call to stakeholders in the oil and gas sector, power, communications, telecommunications, and other sectors to guide, protect, and preserve all critical infrastructure in the country. Patami, who was represented by the Executive Commissioner, Stakeholders Management, Nigerian Communications Commission, Mr. Adeleke Adewolu, recalled that over 40,920 cases of fiber optic cable cuts and 1,307 cases of theft were recorded in recent time. He urged all key stakeholders to drive the message of the summit home to the host communities to achieve results, saying that security infrastructure is a responsibility and collective effort of all Nigerians. Federal government seeks Niger Delta stakeholder support for region's economy. The federal government is urging the Niger Delta region that they have a role to play as well in safeguarding the infrastructures in those areas. We know the Niger Delta is a region that has got so much oil, and even recently they've been making a lot of complaints that the region that produces so much for the country, they are the ones that even get less budget to their region for development. They have less development in their regions. They've made several calls to the federal government, and now the federal government is putting it back on them that they have a role to play. They themselves that they need to support the federal government itself, that they have a role to play to support the federal government in safeguarding, in protecting all of these infrastructures in the region. They made it clear what the region needs to do, what they need to put in place, that security is of the essence for infrastructure. So what they were just hammering on was security of infrastructure. Well, guys, let's hear your thoughts. Leave us your take down below in the comment section. We know that the Niger Delta, they might comment on this and also probably renew their demand or put their demand forward again before the federal government. Now that the federal government is saying that infrastructure security, it's a collective interest, it's a matter of collective interest and the responsibility in collective national interest. Let's hear what you think. Leave us your take down below in the comment section. Thank you once again for staying tuned, and please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe till I come your way again with more updates. Bye.